Hello, kitties. It's your old pal, the Deadheaddaddy, live at the Hudson Haunted House. Tonight, making our first public appearance, we'll be talking about Haunters Against Hate, as well as the new edition of Fangoria magazine featuring an interview with their public relations personnel. So, stick around, we shall return.
How you doing? You wanna go in the torture chamber?
No. Come on.
Come on. It'll be fun.
I don't like this. I can't see.
Hello, boys and ghouls. I hope you're enjoying the scares at the Hudson Haunted House so far. I want to talk to you about an organization that I am proud to support and be part of, and that is Haunters Against Hate. What that is an organization that supports LGBTQ organizations, such as youth that are homeless and need to find a shelter to live. Unfortunately, this organization started because of some bad press where the haunters at some of the southern Ohio haunted houses were made fun of for their sexual orientation. Paul Lanier, the founder, decided to turn this into something positive and raise money. I do strongly suggest you support these guys, and you can find them at hauntersagainst.hate.com. Let's go back to the house.
Hey fellow horror fans, my name is Mina Elwell, and I'm a queer creator. I am the writer of Infernoct from Scout Comics, and of Halicious, which is coming out from Starburns Industries Press this year. I am here to support Haunters Against Hate, which is a really wonderful organization which donates money to LGBTQ+ groups. I am also here to support my group, which is to find a bride for this terrifying monster so that he may rise into oblivion. I would volunteer, but I can't be his bride because I'm gay. But if you can think of anyone, that'd be great. Thanks.
You clown. Nope. You want some rotten candy? No.
Alright, next I want to talk to you all about the exciting announcement that Fangoria magazine, the greatest horror magazine ever, is returning. I had the opportunity to interview their social media director, so stick around and see what she has to tell us about this exciting new return of Fangoria.
Hi, my name is Natasha, and I am the Director of Digital Production and Social Media Engagement for Fangoria. So I'm the person that gets to talk to all of the Fangoria fans on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and it's basically a dream job. I love horror movies, and I love talking about horror movies even more with other people. So every day I have the pleasure of discussing, just what movies are coming out, movies that people hold dear to their hearts. It's just a really fun environment, and I just love the horror community. They are so accepting and just so tolerant, and just a great community to be a part of. There's no negativity at all. It's just a big family, and I love that I get to be a part of that every day. What are some of my favorite horror films? Well, I have a lot. Clearly, I work at Fangoria. But, okay, so my favorite movie of all time is Gremlins 2: The New Batch. And I know that seems like an oddball film to throw out there, but I just love this movie. I'm such a fan of Joe Dante. I love the original Gremlins, but Gremlins 2: The New Batch absolutely brings it. Okay, there's every kind of gremlin you could ever want in this movie. Plus, there's like Christopher Lee's in it. They brought back Zach Galligan and Phoebe Cates, and Dick Miller is in it again. It's just a really fun movie, and there's a quote by Joe Dante that he said a long time ago, which was like, I don't want anything to do with reality. Like, why bother with reality? And I totally agree. I'm not a fan of slasher movies so much. Like, if it's too real, I don't really go for it. My bread and butter is creature features, and Gremlins 2: The New Batch is the king of creature features to me, so I love Gremlins 2: The New Batch. And I have to say Poltergeist is also one of my favorites. I was a fan of the entire Poltergeist franchise since I was a very little girl, which disturbed most of my family because all I wanted to do was watch Poltergeist and Poltergeist 2: The Other Side and Poltergeist 3, and they were just like, why? That's so weird for like a 9-year-old. But I love Poltergeist. It was one of those movies that the just imagery in it is just so scary. Like the pool of corpses, the skull in the bedroom. It just really introduced me to a lot of very cool imagery that I knew I liked from an early age. I also have to say I love Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. Just because it's that oddball in the Halloween franchise, and it is just, it's fantastic. Like, is it a good movie? No. Is it a fun movie? Yes. It's got Tom Atkins in it. It's just so weird and bizarre, but it's one of those movies I always like to watch around Halloween to get into the Halloween mood. So those are a couple of my favorite horror movies. Was I a fan of Fangoria growing up? Absolutely. I can remember my dad taking me to Barnes & Noble, and he would go right to the magazine section, and he'll be reading like automobile magazines or psychology magazines. He is a vociferous reader, and he definitely got me into reading, and I would just go right to Fangoria. Because I knew from a very early age that I loved horror movies, but I loved even more than just watching the horror movies was how they were made. I loved learning about how they made the creatures, how they did the effects. That was really important to me as a horror fan, and I will always hold those memories near and dear to my heart of going to Barnes & Noble with my dad and him not really concerned about what I was reading. So I have been a Fangoria fan for a very long time. With print media on the decline, why bring Fangoria back? Well, print is not dead. It is very much alive, and it's still in demand, and we were actually just at the printer for the first issue, and we were talking to one of the owners of the printing company, and these recent years have been the best for them. So I don't think print is dead, and it is especially, it's maybe undead, because we are bringing Fangoria back in its original state. Fangoria started as a print magazine in 1979, and it was very important to us to bring it back in that original state. So print isn't dead, it's undead. What is staying the same about the magazine and what will be different? Well, I can't really get into any specifics about the contents of the magazine, but I will say that I think we've struck a very, very cool balance between modernity and legacy. So if you grew up reading Fangoria, it's going to be a very familiar experience. In other regards, it's going to be upgraded. We are using a heavier cardstock. Each issue is 100 pages, and they're very much collector's editions that you will want to display on your coffee table. So in that regard, the quality is much higher, but the contents inside, I think you're going to really get a sense of nostalgia and just have that familiar experience all over again. Any articles or features that I am excited about in the first issue? Well, there are many, but unfortunately I can't reveal any of the details yet because it was very important to us that Fangoria fans experience the content for the first time in their own hands, looking at it with their eyeballs. We didn't want anything to come out online. In fact, the magazine will only be print. So the articles, the contents of the magazine will never ever be online. This is a print-only experience. And we're just thrilled about that. I mean, that's how it was in 1979, and that's how it's going to be again. And I gotta tell you, I've read all of the articles and all the features, and it is amazing. I think you're really going to be excited about what's inside of this magazine. It's a beast. Have I met any horror icons? Yes, I've been fortunate enough to meet many horror icons. I recently met Barbara Crampton, and she is an angel. She is so helpful to the horror community and just wants to be involved with everything, and she is just a wonderful, wonderful human being and has helped Fangoria a lot, and she's just fantastic. I met Bruce Campbell twice. I met him at horror cons and waited in line for 4 hours to meet him one time. I love Bruce. I think he's great. The Evil Dead trilogy is one of my favorites. I loved Ash vs. Evil Dead, and he was just as funny in person as I had hoped. He is a great guy.
He's here with us. Can't you feel him? Oh.
Wait.
Accept him.
Nope. Oh God. I can feel it. Like,
Hey guys, it's Alex from the Hudson Haunted House, Hudson JC's Haunted House. We are year 46 right now, and we've been here since '72. We are open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we hope to see you out here. Adult admission is $12, kids are $6.
Well, kiddies, I hope you enjoyed your sneak peek at the Hudson Haunted House. We had fun and hopefully made some new fans. Our good friend Daniel Gorman showed up to tell us all about the returning con he's working on, Dark Xmas. Stop by and meet some of your favorite celebrity guests. The largest horror, sci-fi, and pop culture con returns November 17th and 18th. Be there. And so concludes our Halloween episode of Deadheaddaddy's Creepy Things. A very extra special thank you to everyone who participated in this episode, as well as the only online channel you can find us, the Monster Channel. By the way, be sure to keep listening to Karma Radio to see when the Deadheaddaddy will return. Stay creepy.